Hey there, lovely people and guitar maniacs all over the world. It's your man, Van Daven here. And tonight we're going to be talking again about the Lion. Maybe more about the Plexi, maybe more about metal amps. Recently I saw this video on YouTube about this new amplifier that's super expensive. And that amp finally hit the market. You can, for example, buy the amp at John's guitar store in the Netherlands, or you can order it factory direct from the company with the big F. Well, thank goodness I'm not the target audience. I'm not the guy to buy a super heavy, huge amp. It's way too much to carry. I like to keep my pedalboard small and portable, and that's all I need for my gigs, right? In any case, I got curious because I like the sounds, even though I don't play that super crushed hard metal, but I kind of like the sound. So I dug in a bit, and there's this guy who had like the first early version of it, right? Of that orange colored amp, not an orange amp, right? I guess you know what I'm talking about, right? That Helloween shit, you know? And, in any case, the very, very first of those amps that a certain person modified was based on the Plexi. So what that guy did, he sent him a Plexi and he modified it. So I was like, maybe there's a way to get the kind of crushing, high distortion, high gain metal sound out of, you guessed it, the Lion, of course. So I took a few pedals and I put that thing together, right? I have one pedal for the grind. I have one pedal for the additional gain stages, and then there's the Lion. Take a look at that. So here we are on the pedal board. You see the most important parts of the sound, which is the 14 grind booster, then the Wampler Tumnus, and of course the Lion. We start out with the brown model, and we're going into the custom preset version of the Greenback 30, which can be loaded through the factory presets, and then you can alter the settings and save the model. And when we listen to the Lion, it is, I dare say, pretty tame, right? I don't want to get too much of that power amp saturation for that sound. And I guess it's kind of important that we don't go over half with the gain. We don't want to get into anything that's past like 10, 30. And then one of the key elements to the whole thing is the 14 grind pedal. And suddenly the whole thing doesn't sound that dull anymore. And then I have a nice setting on the Wampler Tumnus, which is basically my first gain stage. And to get the whole thing even more into distortion country, we're gonna turn on the internal boost. That's my second gain stage, and then we have a little bit from the preamp power amp settings of the Lion. And voila, your metal sound is finished. Short intermission just to tell you all the guitar sounds you're hearing tonight are coming directly from the output of the pedal board, meaning the Lele P-split going straight into the mic input of my UAD Apollo X6. And the guitar you're hearing, that's this one. It's a 2020 Mayones Hydra with the great Seymour Duncan Nosgool and Sentient pickups. Thanks. For this setup, I have extended the loop number 2. So we're not using loop number 1 at all, which used to be the loop for the overdrives. Now we're not using that. Why? Because the heavy clipping caused by the grind wampler combo would distort the individual instant send return bus. So we're basically just passing the signal from unit to unit in order to avoid clipping. The higher you go and the more power amp clipping you get, the more the volume will drop. So we just want to find this sweet spot in between perfect drive and loss of volume due to clipping. The grind is just like that little blade where you balance your whole thing on, right? It just boosts the mids by an extreme amount. And as you could hear, it's adding a tremendous edge to the otherwise pretty lame sound. But that's the secret about the metal sounds. They should just really cut through. Literally, they do. The mids on the Lion are pretty tame. Of course, the highs can be adjusted to your likes. I usually have the bass turned up almost all the way. Then presence. Again, another method to add the so-called hair to the sound. You can also do that with volume 1. Well, the one thing I do is I keep it lower than volume 2 just to not add too much, so else we add up with a usable sound again, and we want to grind through, right? Just reducing a bit of the presence. I think we're fine here. Maybe a bit more of the volume 1, a bit more of the treble. Okay. And this is the boost. And that's the treble again. The next fun thing I want to mention is that on the alt setting of the room, we have something like a very small room that can also be called a doubler. Listen to that. Very subtle, but very useful. And of course, if you need a second sound to record, You can always switch amps. And of course, you can also switch speakers. So we're going back to the brown, and we're now switching. Of course, now there is no more way back to the custom mic'd GB30 that we had, unless we press the preset button. So I switched now to a V30, your standard 4x12 metal speaker. Well, now that you heard how I create those metal sounds on the Lion, it's time for them to come alive. So I recorded a little bit of a, well, metal riffing for you, together with drums, just a slight bit of EQ on the guitars. I hope you enjoy it. I'll be gone after that thing is over, so, well, I just tell you to not forget to have the best day ever, and don't forget to enjoy life.